Next on Worcester News tonight, a local family calling for action after finding a racist message on their pizza delivery box. Plus, the Worcester County Food Bank receives a generous donation today during what they call a critical time of the year. Thank you for joining us. I'm Catherine Andrioli. New tonight, Domino's Pizza has fired an employee they say wrote a racist note on their pizza box delivered to a Shrewsbury family. Customer Lokesh Kozla says he asked Domino's to write a joke on the box, but what he got was far from funny. An explicit message scrawled on the box comparing black people to human waste. Kozla, who is Indian, says he wasn't sure if the message was motivated by his race. Domino's spokespeople say they investigated the incident. They say it was unacceptable and the employee has been terminated. And investigators are trying to figure out what caused a school bus to catch fire today in Worcester. This video shows what was left of the bus once firefighters put out the blaze on Waverly Street. Officials saying a bus driver alerted firefighters when he got on the bus and smelled something burning inside. A short while later, the bus was destroyed. Investigators still aren't sure what caused the problem.
An origin quite yet. I mean, as you can see from the shell of the bus, it's a total loss. The report that we got was that the bus driver got on the bus. There was no other students on the bus at the time, and smelt something burning. Got off and called the fire department. By the time we got here, it had pretty well gotten underway and involved.
And officials say the fire appears to have started near the engine. Fortunately, there were no students on board at the time, and the driver was able to escape unharmed. A Worcester firefighter is injured after a vehicle slams into the rear of a fire truck. Chief Sullivan says firefighters were responding to an accident off of a ramp on Route 146 this afternoon. The firefighter was sent to the hospital to be treated for a neck injury. He is expected to be okay. Sullivan says protocol requires 2 fire trucks to be on scene of highway incidents. He says it helps block the accident so first responders are less likely to be hit by traffic.
First responders, police officers, EMTs, firefighters, as well as tow truck drivers are often hit and killed on the highway. And so our protocol, which mimics the national protocol, is to send 2 trucks. One goes directly to the scene and the other holds back about 400 feet and blocks the lane that we'll be doing our work in. Although our truck got hit and it has some damage, and hopefully the citizen who hit the back of the truck is okay, the system worked exactly the way it's supposed to work.
And the Worcester County Food Bank receives a generous donation from Hannaford Supermarkets today. The $10,000 donation comes at a critical time for the food bank, who says they are in need of help after the holidays. The food bank says they receive fewer donations after the holiday season, and the winter months are a critical time. Hannaford Supermarkets is one of several companies providing donations to the Worcester County Food Bank, which distributes food items to 128 agencies in the Worcester area who feed the hungry. Executive Director Jean McMurray says the generous donation they received today will allow them to feed many families in need.
So it's always exciting, and it's a little bit different to get some generosity like we've seen today from Hannaford, $10,000, which turns into $50,000 worth of food. As we enter now the very cold season, we haven't had a lot of cold weather up until now, but that's when people start to make decisions between their heating bill, buying food. Definitely the food and the services of the partner agencies help to ease the stress of those difficult decisions.
And the Worcester County Food Bank distributes enough food each week for 100,000 meals. Experts say it's not too late to get a flu vaccine, but another virus seems to be sweeping through the region, keeping doctors and nurses busy here in central Massachusetts. Our Rosalind Flaherty has the details.
Good hand hygiene is the #1 recommendation.
The cold winter months are here and sickness is coming along with it. UMass Memorial Medical Center Dr. Christina Hermo says the stomach bug has taken off over the last few weeks.
It hasn't been proven, but we're all pretty sure it's likely norovirus.
Hermo says the hospital is seeing mostly outpatient visits and emergency room visits for dehydration related to the very contagious stomach bug. She says being cooped up inside is an easy way for germs to spread.
It does tend to spread through houses inevitably, despite those measures, just because, you know, the particulates of vomit and stool are so small.
Hermo says they've also seen a slight uptick in the last few weeks of flu-like symptoms.
Fever, cough, sore throat.
She says the nasal form of the flu vaccine was not recommended this year because it wasn't very effective last year, and it's led to fewer people getting vaccinated.
And that flu mist was always very popular, which makes us fearful that there's going to be a more severe flu season, because the more people who are vaccinated, the less flu we see.
Claremont Academy School in Worcester has seen about 20 cases of the stomach bug in the last few weeks.
A lot of upset stomachs, a little bit of diarrhea, not so much fevers.
School nurse DENISE KHALILI says schools can be a potential breeding ground for illnesses to spread if they are not taken care of.
That there's a bunch of kids in one classroom are really cognizant of that, and we'll make sure we do super cleaning and go in and educate the children again about the importance of hand washing.
Hermo says illnesses like the neurovirus don't discriminate, but small children can become dehydrated faster.
Particularly infants under 1 year or 6 months of age, just a lot easier for, you know, larger, full-grown, healthy people to bounce back.
Rosalind Flaherty, Worcester News Tonight.
The city of Worcester is in line to receive nearly $500,000 by the state in an effort to curb gang violence in the city. Governor Charlie Baker made the announcement at the State House this afternoon. Worcester is one of 15 communities across the state receiving money. The Worcester Police Department will receive more than $494,000. The department says the money, which comes from Shannon grants, will go towards youth programs. Clark University is also set to receive more than $40,000. New safety features are already in place on a dangerous roadway in central Massachusetts. Now the Department of Transportation is set to do even more after several deadly accidents on the road. Our Andy Madison has more.
At Dick's Tire Barn on Route 20, the only way to get there is by turning right.
People think that it's a bad thing that you can't make a left out of here and you can't make a left into here off of Route 20. If you ask me, if it's saving people's lives, it's worth it to go a half mile past us one way or the other.
Safety is not taken lightly by people who live and work along Route 20 in the area between Oxford and Charlton. The road has gained a reputation, and several deadly accidents in recent years prompted the Department of Transportation to put in safety barriers and signs warning drivers of sharp turns. This year, the reconstruction will continue along Route 20 into Charlton. Joe Green says there's been a noticeable difference.
Since they did the construction in this area, the lanes have been widened, and with the Jersey barriers, it helped a lot. Where they just had the fatality last year, that is the bad corner.
Police have also noticed a difference too. Lieutenant Andy SAAD says the guardrail helped during an accident last month in Oxford involving a car and a tractor trailer westbound on Route 20.
The two collided. They both went into the guardrail. So the guardrail did its job, kept them on the westbound side instead of kicking them across onto the eastbound side for head-on collisions, and that's exactly what it was designed to do.
As part of the $50 million project, police are keeping track of accidents. Lieutenant SAAD says the Oxford Police Department has responded to less than 60 on Route 20 since November of 2015.
80% of them are non-personal injury related. Just like minor fender benders, bumping, cars turning, rear-ending each other.
The numbers show signs of improvement, and with more construction on the way, Green hopes it will stay that way going forward.
If people get off their cell phones and, pay attention to the road, there'd probably be a lot less accidents.
Andy Madison, Worcester News Tonight.
The new exhibit at the Ecotarium is modeled after Worcester and even takes up an entire floor of the museum. Our Brittany Schaefer has the details.
There is no other exhibit in the nation exactly like this.
The city's biggest landmarks are on display at the Ecotarium. The middle floor has been transformed into a new permanent exhibit. It is called City Science, and it showcases science happening all around us in Worcester.
We use the city of Worcester as our example of the science that's found in cities. So Worcester gets to shine a little bit.
People are really enjoying the exhibit as a family.
The exhibit took 7 years to develop and will be open to the public on January 17th. One element is called the Vibration Lab, and it is modeled after the once crumbling towers at Union Station.
The original towers, because they were too stiff and the vibrations of the trains caused them to crumble. So we have an opportunity here on Vibration Lab for people to build a structure and then subject it to vibration and see what sort of structure is going to stand best.
Ecotarium President Joe Cox says the $1.1 million exhibit was modeled by Worcester from the community's ideas and feedback.
City Science is really a project that the entire community built. The number of collaborators on this project is enormous. Practically every university had interns, researchers contributing to this.
Stephen Burke and his grandson Colin got a sneak peek of the new exhibit Tuesday, and Burke says they were both having fun and learning.
I think it's great because it teaches materials and teaches them about vibrations and how it impacts the materials. He's having a ball, and that's all I care about.
Brittany Schaefer, Worcester.